All right, what is up? Race Brain, HYROX Rundown. It's your boy, the former slowest man in Wisconsin, Matt Mason. And today, I am joined by my good pals. It's been a while, gang. I think it's been like 6 or 7 months since we've done one of these. On today's show, we have the voice of HYROX, everyone's favorite commentator coming to a course near you down under soon enough. We got Greg from the RoxLyf. Greg, how we doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. It's good to be back.
Oh man, we are so pumped to have you on today, Greg. And then everybody's favorite stats man, because facts don't care about feelings. That's right. We've got Jack Bauer fresh off his 65. Shout out, Jack. Jack, did you put your performance through your butt?
I did. And I think it was like a 0.6% fast in Atlanta. So I was like 65 high.
But Jack, so you're saying you're not that fast?
No, hey, what's your PR, Matt? I could say that now.
No. I'm slower than you for sure. What I'm saying is that you said that you felt like you had a 62 or 63, but your butt says it was actually worth a 66. That was my point.
Well, my that might be in my butt, but my quads definitely thought otherwise, because I fell apart in those lunges and wall balls. Up until that point, I was feeling good.
That's amazing. And everybody's favorite, nicest, kindest, most creative Race Brain host, we've got Michelle Navarro from the Jersey Shore. Michelle, how you doing today?
We're doing great. It's a race week. Going to be in Chicago soon. Ready to dial back in for racing, and I'm excited to chat with you guys today.
Race week. Michelle, are you doing a solo or a doubles?
This is the solo again. So this is the A race in this block. So I'm hoping for another nice PR for myself.
A race.
Been working hard.
This is the A race.
Telling you,
Michelle's been pounding those road
recently.
For sure.
Dude, Team Rich stays working. I don't know what Rich is doing. He's doing all this like foo-foo stuff on Instagram, creating content. Like, does that guy even race anymore? Like, he's just creating content, just doing all these weird like movements that, like, I don't know, the band thing. I don't know what our guy's doing. He's lost.
I mean, when you're running 55s though, Matt, I don't know if you can question it. So
he's getting ahead. He's got a backlog with the baby.
I would love to run a 55 and know.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll find out soon enough. I'm racing this weekend in doubles, and then I'm racing solo, and I cannot wait to put my solo time through Jack's butt and find out how slow I actually am. So, Greg, when's your next race?
My next race is around 3 weeks' time in London. I'm racing pro on the Thursday night.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. And is this the 9-day London race?
No. That's in
the spring.
Yeah, it's in like March time. So that's going to be the regional championships combined with another event, like a typical London event. So that'll be then. So this one is just a 4-day, but it's a 1-lap track at the London XL. So it's going to be huge.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I've got a
love
question
a 1-lap track.
How many of those days of the 6-day event do you think Charlie's going to race?
Dude, that was going to be my question. I was going to say Greg is more clued into the UK racers. Can Charlie Bottrell get 20 races in 9 days?
He'll try. He told me like he's dialing back a little bit and things like that. But then like he raced like 3 weekends in a row and done a couple of races in Birmingham and everything. But he's incredible to be fair.
Guys like that. Yeah, guys like that, dialing back is always, what does that mean for them? Because like I remember Dylan being like, "Oh, I'm back in the States. I'm done racing for a while," and then he did like, what did he do, Jack? He did the 10,000.
Atlanta,
LT games, Atlanta. He's racing this weekend.
Taking it easy.
Taking it easy. All right. Well, if you are a loyal listener of the show, Greg being here can only mean one thing, and that is top 5 power rankings, baby. We are here. So on today's show, we have agreed. There was a little bit of confusion last year, and we have decided collectively that this is going to be a true power ranking. So we are going to rank the athletes based on who we think where they sit right now in terms of the field. So if you're wondering where Jack's going to go, it's going to be cold hard facts. It's going to be all about what have you done for me lately. If you wonder where I'm going to go, well, it's probably going to be a lot of feelings. You know, we're over here on Team Kent. We're all about RPE. So rate of perceived effort is what we go off of. Jack goes off of heart rate data. I go off of RPE. So, and then Michelle and Greg, they're going to be somewhere in between. So it should be a lively episode. So we are looking forward to it. So with that, Jack, you want to go ahead and share your screen so we can get this thing kicked off? Actually, no, before that, what am I doing? Wheel of names. How could I be so silly?
Yeah.
Got to start it off with wheel.
Got to get the people what they want. Have to start off with the wheel of names. All right. Ooh, wheel of names got a refresh. Wait till you all see this. They must be getting those ad dollars. All right, let's go ahead and make this professional looking.
Riveting content right now.
Wheel of names with the dark mode. You see that? Look how good that looks.
No.
We are not visualizing
nothing,
this
Matt.
yet,
All right,
Matt.
up first. Oh,
There
you're
we go.
joking.
Oh, there it is.
Greg. You'll go
All
first.
right. The anticipation is killing me.
Got some big delay on the visuals.
I can hear it just fine.
Oh, really?
Yes.
The celebration, like when it lands on someone.
Michelle will go third.
All right.
And for posterity, Jack, you will go last. However, we will let you choose if we start men or women.
Let's go women first.
We got to get you your flowers, Jack. Boom.
There
All
we
right.
go.
Greg, Michelle. No, Greg, Matt, Michelle, Jack. Jack, if you want to go ahead and share your screen.
I'm doing that. Here we go.
Don't worry, I'm only who knows how long I am until I'm in my actual house and back to good internet. So hopefully we don't continue to have these issues. So based on Jack's pick, we will go with the women first. Greg will kick us off, and we will start with the 5th female on Greg's list.
So in 5th, maybe this is controversial place to start, but I'm going with the world champion Linda Meyer in 5th place, which feels controversial because she's world champion. But when I looked at it and assessed it, where I think people are right now, I think there's 4 athletes that I would pick ahead of her at the moment.
All right.
Greg
Greg
one by
is
one,
go-
or Greg just fill out the whole 5.
No, let's go one. Well, we typically have done it one by one, correct?
No, last time we ended up doing here, hold your comments back, just list your 5, and then we start the debate once everyone's on the board.
All right,
Because
you know what,
remember-
Greg, as our esteemed guest, how do you want to do it, Greg? You want to go one by one, or you want to list your top 5 and then we'll debate it out at the end?
I'll go my top 5 now.
All right, hit us.
4th, I've gone with Vivian to Futo. 3rd, I've put Megan. 2nd, Lauren Weeks. And then 1st, Joanna Watrick.
All right. This is anticlimactic. As it always stands, I am also with Greg. Give me Linda Meyer in the 5. Give me Vivian in the 4.
Still heavily debating his own list right now.
anticlimactic.
No, this doesn't feel this. It feels so not good. Give me Megan the 3. Give me Lauren in the 2, and then give me Joanna in the 1.
All right, I'm up. Without any context, there's already going to be some debate. So 5 spot, I have Lena Putters. 4,
let's go, Michelle.
4, I have Meg. 3, I have Lauren. 2, Vivian. 1, Joanna.
I like this. That's the spice that we need. Jack.
All right, just gonna mute myself. 5, Seikka Arning. 4, Lauren Weeks. 3, Meg Jacoby. 2, Vivian Tafuto. For 1, Joanna Watrick.
All right. I just want to say this because this is actually where I had the most debate. I'm with you, Jack. I actually thought that Seikka's performances recently, specifically her race in Hamburg and then her doubles performance that she just put up, actually, I debated whether or not I was going to put her above. Well, I shouldn't say above. I was debating if I was going to put her at 5 or not, but I just felt like I couldn't leave the reigning world champion off. Because again, as we've debated last season, I care about championships and rings, so to speak. So I like this pick, and I think that where we should start is I think that you should make your case for Seikka, and Michelle should make her case for Lena, and then we'll kind of debate out the rest.
Sure. You want me to go first, Michelle, or do you want to
go for it, Jack?
Okay. So Seikka Arning, go back to Hamburg, ends up 4th place. She beats Linda Meyer head to head. To me, the most recent time they stepped on the course, she was better than Linda. I can't see how you flip the two of those. But it wasn't just a 3-second victory. Realistically, getting out of lunges, Seikka was 52.37 and Linda was 53.01. So up until that point, she was actually dominating Linda. And she kind of fell apart on wall balls, still held on to a 4th place finish. So the fact that 95% of the race, she had a commanding lead over her for the most part and did in fact beat her head to head. That's the only reason I'm leaving Linda off. I don't know how you can argue the other way around based on what have we seen in season 8. Obviously, if we're going career accomplishments or what did you do 5 months ago in Chicago World Championship, of course that might play a role, but I don't look at it that way. I look at what have you done since season 8 started. Really, I think Seikka's been better.
Yeah, and I think that is the point. It's based off of what your logic is around your list and why you think something is possibly more important than the other. So for me, for Lena, I'm thinking logically about what's projected to happen for the next race. That's kind of how I've been envisioning this, and seeing people's trajectories as this current season has gone on. So for Lena, for me specifically, I mean, she unfortunately had the missed lap in the first major, but she was right at the top the entire time in that race. So I think she also just recently backed that up in Stuttgart with racing Meg Jacoby there and having a really solid performance too. So I just think that she's trending upwards, and I feel like she deserves that 5 spot.
Yeah, so she actually finished in 63.05. She did miss a lap. It's hard to quantify what that did to the race. Y'all keep me honest.
They were running a set penalty, so you can quantify it.
Correct, but a 3-minute penalty for how long were those laps? Y'all remember it was like 40 seconds, 42 seconds for the women.
It was overkill.
So yeah, so let's say, I mean, that's not what it probably saved her in the race. It probably saved her a little bit more energy, but what do we think it saved her? 20 seconds, 30? So my point is that really it was like, it should have been a minute 10, if anything. She would have put her probably right there. I'll address. I hear you on Seikka, but Linda only finished 3 seconds behind her. And so I think that
behind her.
I hear correct. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. But we can make that, it's not quite the same because we're not talking about a world championship, but like we all agree that Hunter at Worlds, as an example, no one could beat Hunter that day, the race that he had, except for Tim, who had the race of his life. Right. So there's sometimes there's like that factor of like, okay, does that make Tim a better athlete than Hunter it did on that day? And so I think when I look at the Linda Seikka argument, I definitely see where you're coming from. I think you make valid points. I would be interested to hear Greg's opinion on the Seikka argument. I could see it both ways. I could see it as they just went head to head and Seikka won. I could also see it as, was this the best performance that we had seen out of Seikka in a Elite 15 race?
She got fourth another time.
I think it was.
She did well in, I think it was Glasgow.
Yeah, she got fourth place last year in a race.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it was her. She followed it up from there. I don't know, Greg. What do you think on the Seikka argument?
I see why Jack's like put her down, but I just think that it's really it's only been this season in a way. Like she was in last place in Chicago, which wasn't that long ago. That was in June, and I do value championships as well. So Linda isn't necessarily consistent throughout all the majors and everything like that, but for the biggest race of the season, she turned up and she smashed it, and Seikka didn't. And so I think we have to put some weight in on that at least, even though in the most recent race Seikka was slightly better, but not significantly. I think considering that Linda won the championship, I think that's worthy of the weight in that I've given her. But I agree. Like Seikka, I felt like I was almost predicting Seikka to do well in all of last season's majors because I think she was the fastest pro athlete in Nice, and then she never quite fulfilled that potential. I didn't feel last season, and it feels like she's coming good now. And like in the doubles in Hamburg, she looked really good. In that doubles in Stuttgart, she's looked really good. So I think she's getting there now for sure. I just want to see it a little bit more consistent before I put her ahead of Linda.
You know who she reminds me of? She reminds me of like the German Lauren Griffith, or Lauren Griffith is like the American Seikka Arning. And what I mean by that is like they're two athletes who like we've seen like these glimpses of real potential, and for one reason or the other, like it just doesn't go their way. Like I think with Seikka, she has been open that it's been like a nutrition thing, electrolyte imbalance thing, a couple different things that have caused her to have these poor endings to races. It seems like she's got that figured out. And like on the American side, like we're kind of waiting for Lauren Griffith to do the same thing. Like if Lauren Griffith can put a full race together, like she's going to be problematic for the field, but it feels like Seikka's there. So you know what, Jack, I don't do this often. I will, I hear your point, and I'm willing to change my vote from Linda to Seikka.
That right there. This is special to me, Matt. This is I appreciate it.
It's a decent argument. You know what? I hear you. And I said at the beginning of the show that this is a top 5 power rankings, and this doesn't affect the all-time list where Linda is definitely a top 5 athlete and will maybe even higher. But right now, especially after watching the doubles performances that just occurred, because didn't they keep me honest? Because I'm starting to mix weekends. She raced this past. Did Seikka just race this past weekend they beat Meg and
right.
Linda, right?
And Meg and Linda, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that was that same weekend. So obviously it takes 2 to tango there, but that was also the 3rd fastest performance of all time. So only behind Joanna and Joanna. So the fitness is there. I guess the question would be, so I would change my vote to Seikka, which Jack, you put it underneath Greg.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a typo.
Yeah,
I was so overwhelmed with like actually getting a compliment that I didn't know what to do with it.
Greg and or Michelle, did Jack's persuasion flip either of you?
It's hard because I can see both sides, and I think it's a gut reaction to want to choose Linda over Seikka just because we know how historically, like, she's been so great and consistent. And to Greg's point, it would be it would confirm my choice for Seikka if we see a bit more consistency in her performances. And I honestly think that we will see that this season. But in this current moment, we still aren't there. However, with my argument for how people are trending, I do feel like Seikka is trending in the right direction. So I would be willing to choose Seikka over Lena and over Linda in this current moment in time.
And just to throw a wrench into it, I think Michelle nominating Lena makes it difficult because you take away that missed lap, she beats Seikka by 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So I could see that, but the bottom line is she didn't.
Yeah, that's true. The one argument to play devil's advocate here, I'm not saying I'm going to change my vote, but just for the sake of this discussion, the one argument that I would put forward to Lena is that I think that her race in Stuttgart this past weekend or 2 weekends ago, all the days running together right now, you'll have to forgive me. I don't currently have a permanent home, so my life is in disarray. But that performance that she put down with Meg was very impressive to me because she went out with Meg and ran hard with Meg, and Meg had the best time race of Meg's career. And there was a moment where it was like when she dropped her, she being Meg, when Meg dropped Lena, you almost wondered like, okay, what's Lena going to do now? Like, is she going to crack? Because she just got dropped. She, is probably redlining a little bit just based on the pace. And she stuck her nose in it. And I think, if I remember correctly, she was only 11 seconds off of her best time. I think it was almost a PR for her.
So I listened to Armar this week and she discussed it. So some of the results, except for the HYROX official website, still have a 58 flat, but it is technically, I think, a 58.30 for her. So she was saying that it is a PR officially.
No, sorry. I meant Lena.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I meant Lena was close. She wound up close to her PR within like 10 seconds. And in a race where she got dropped by arguably one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time, where she would have been very easy to be like, I just got dropped and I'm redlining and I'm going to phone it in. Like, she stuck her nose in it and came out nearly with a PR on what seemed to be a very fair course. Like, I didn't see anybody saying that Stuttgart was fast and the sled seemed fair. So, I mean, that was I think time trialing is one thing, but who you race is another. Now, obviously the argument that for Seikka would be, well, she just did this in the Elite 15 field, which is maybe more impressive than a regional race. So I don't know, something to be said there. So do we think
we have the same?
We've got
1 through 4 all listed somewhere. So 5's the only one we need to really decide on.
I would say that Seikka would win here because I would be willing to choose her over Lena with the discussions that we've had. I do think that she's trending in the right direction and she's been in the majors currently doing fairly well. So I would say that Seikka deserves that 5 spot as well.
I would just, I'm a big fan of Lena. I think she's a future star. And she finished second in Stuttgart, but she was 3 minutes behind Megan. And I think that shows like the gap that is still actually there. Like, it was an impressive performance, it was a great time, everything like that, but she's still 3 minutes behind Megan, and maybe that's just a sign of how good Megan was in reality on the day. But do I think Seikka or Linda would have been 3 minutes behind, like if they'd had their best day? No, I don't. I think they'd been closer to Megan. So I think, yeah, Linda or Seikka deserve the spot over Lena.
All right. Well, then, Michelle, I think you are the tie-breaking vote.
Yeah, Seikka it is.
All right, lock her in. I can't believe that I made
Is
that
this the
overturn
first
something
time?
once.
Is this the first time in these top 5 rankings where someone who's only received 1 vote was able to successfully debate their way into that one person overtaking the other 3? I think it is. Jack, I think
probably is.
Dude, you're
monumental
Roxy
right here. Yeah.
You're Roxy.
Biggest upset of the year right here.
Mail.
Yeah.
Put it in the mail.
Yeah.
Put it in the mail. All right. So this next, so we agree on the rest of the top 4. It's just going to be the order. I'm assuming, Jack, that your argument is that you don't think that Vivian is better than Lauren, but she just beat Lauren in Hamburg, and so you're weighting that more heavily.
Yeah, she was like under 15 seconds behind Joanna.
Okay. I hear you.
Joanna,
so then why Megan?
All of us have her right there. Number 1.
Right. So I guess so then my question would be, why would you penalize Lauren for taking 3rd in a major based off of Meg's most recent performance?
Yeah, so Lauren was 39 seconds behind, and honestly, like after the sled, she really it wasn't necessarily a 3-woman race at that point. So I think that the 2 of them separated each other, and then I put Meg's time into Jack's butt. That's the number 1 adjusted time on the season. So she might not have been there in Hamburg, but she is going to be scary good when she ends up getting back. You want to know what her adjusted time was?
Well, if it's the number 1 time of the season, I'm going to guess that it was better than a 58.09. So I'm going to guess 57 mid.
57.59.
Nice.
That's the 4th best ever that I've got. So Meg's back.
Just getting started too.
So I'm basically saying that Lauren didn't impress like she typically does during the opener. I understand World Championships happened last year. Like, she's got an entire pedigree, in my opinion, the GOAT, male or female, in HYROX. But I'm like, what have you done this year? Meg's been more impressive, in my opinion. And Joanna and Vivian stand above because they were really battling each other and put a gap on Lauren. But I think that Meg would have prevented Lauren from being on the podium in Hamburg.
Okay, so I guess just to play devil's advocate here, then based on that same logic, is the only reason then why Joanna and Vivian are above Meg is because they did it in a major? Because if you're saying that in your mind, Meg's time is the 4th fastest of all time based on adjusted rankings, I would imagine that those other times didn't happen this year. So Meg's got the best time this year. So why not just put Meg 1?
She's about 10, 15 seconds ahead of Joanna adjusted. That's what I've got it at. But I think because it's at a major, that's when all the best of the best were there. They gapped Lauren, they gapped Linda, every single other top athlete who was present in Hamburg. They stood out. And I think that, like, I've always been, Meg was injured last year, I'm not putting her on it. Now that she's back, I'm willing to put her where I think she belongs at the moment. And based on what we saw in Stuttgart, Greg mentioned 3-minute gap over 2nd place. She's clearly head and shoulders against the rest is what it looks like. And the only 2 who weren't there were Joanna and Vivian, in my opinion.
But you can make the argument. We talk about this all the time. Going back to the last time we had a 3-headed monster on the women's side with Michaela, Meg, and Lauren. The person that got 3rd almost always got gapped, right? Like, that's just kind of how it was. We always saw they'd always go out together, and then one person would get dropped. And so I guess just to play devil's advocate on this side, you could make the argument that Meg just got to time trial, whereas Lauren was in a race against, then having to battle with not one, but two people.
Well, that's why I have Meg as fourth in my list for that reason, Matt. Like, I think it's an extremely impressive time, but I do think having to battle against the best of the best in a major style does factor for something. So Meg absolutely deserves to be on this list, but I kept everyone in the majors that were top three as top three, just because they had to battle against each of those people in the race, and that definitely changes the dynamic. So that was the only reason I kind of had my list the way that it was.
Greg, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it comes down again to how much sort of weighting we base on like the recent races, and then how far back we go. Like Lauren is the GOAT and turned up in all of the majors last year and did well. Didn't win the world championships like we thought she might, but she was there. She performed. She performed very well in the doubles as well in Hamburg, I should add. So it's not just that singles race that we've seen her in. So I think based on like everything, not just that singles race in Hamburg, I think she deserves to be up there.
So if her past two big races, Greg and Matt, since you have the same exact order, Lauren has finished third at World Champs and third in the last major. What is preventing her from being in third right there? If you're using recent history, and it's not really recent, it's 5-6 months ago. Like, why are you basically disrespecting Vivian at this point?
I'm not disrespecting Vivian. It's not, well, yeah, I'm not. I shouldn't have said well there because that sounds like a weird qualifier. I'm not disrespecting Vivian. I still subscribe to the theory that like if we were drafting, it's the BK theory. If Lauren Weeks is there, I'm taking Lauren Weeks every single time because my opinion on that, you might say, well, you didn't take her here, you took Joanna, and you're right. The reason why I put Joanna is because thinking of it as a power ranking, there's a little bit more of a body of work of head to head with Worlds. And then Hamburg, and then Joanna just set the world record again in doubles with Jess Petro, or at least tied the world record with Jess Petro. And so I can't deny that like recency thing, but there's no indication to me that Lauren's fitness isn't there, and that if she shows up in Melbourne, that she's not going to win. Like I think that Lauren is the GOAT, and I would, if there were betting odds, she's probably still the betting, even despite all of this, even with us saying Joanna's first, if we were to make Vegas odds for Melbourne, she's probably the betting favorite. So
yeah, and I get that. Like if this is a who's likely to do well, most consistency style rankings, like, yeah, it makes sense to put Lauren towards the top, if not the top, just because of her history. But it's like, if you're using world championships as an argument for other people, and she got third there, she got third in the last major, it just, to me, I don't see how she can be number two if people have beaten her since then.
But Vivian didn't beat her at the world championships, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Vivian's beaten Lauren in a HYROX race one time. So
most recently.
And correct, but
this is November 2025 rankings.
Is that because Lauren's dropping off, or is that because Lauren didn't have her day and Vivian had one of her best days? So to me, the way that I view it is, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer here, but me personally, I view it as Vivian had one of her best days and Lauren had an off day for whatever reason. But if they were going to line up and race right now, my money's on Lauren. And I could make that same argument with Meg of, I don't see how anybody in Meg's current form, including Vivian, unless she has her day and Meg doesn't, I don't see how anybody beats that top three. And I don't feel good about that top three order. I'll never feel good about this top three order. And I don't think we will either, because I think now that Meg's back, we're going to see it's going to be chaos in every single race, which is good for us as fans. So I don't know. I think it's hard for me to, I hear the recency thing, but it's hard for me to, Lauren hasn't done anything that showed in the last, Lauren's never stopped racing. She continues to race HYROXes. She races Decas. We continue to see her fitness. I also want to point out, that since Hamburg, Lauren did the LT games, which I know is not HYROX, but smoked an entire field, not just of women, but of men. She beat the ever living shit out of Noah Olson and Dylan Scott. What did she beat Noah by? 5 minutes.
3-4 minutes.
I know that's not. I know it's not HYROX, but that's fitness. Lauren's fitness is not a problem. So that's another reason why I would see like, okay, maybe she didn't have her day in Hamburg, but that's scary fitness. I mean, Dylan Scott is going to be probably somewhere in the top 3 men, right? Someone might put him 1 on the men's side when we get to the men, and she beat him by 6 minutes. So the fitness isn't a problem. So you're telling me that Lauren is likely not going to beat Vivian right now? No disrespect to Vivian.
I think for me, it's a momentum thing. And Vivian's got some serious momentum that I feel like is very different than what we've seen from her in the past. And that is playing very significant in my mind. So I just think that she's trending up. So that's why I have her above Lauren.
Okay. So the argument really right here is, well, actually, we're all over the place. So Joanna,
just lock Joanna in at 1 because all of us
lock Joanna in at 1. We're not. We can't have a unanimous 1 and then debate our way out of that. That can't happen. So then it's really split between this. Okay, Meg is also 3. Okay, let's talk Meg next, real quick, because this will make it a little bit easier. Meg is almost a unanimous 3 across the board. The only place where she's not is Michelle. Do we feel good as a group about Meg at 3?
I will also agree with that. Yes.
Yeah, it seems reasonable, but then it's going to punish either Lauren or Vivian.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you already are punishing. We're already punishing them. So that's where the debate is. It's literally Greg and I think Lauren is 2. Y'all think that Vivian is 2, and then Jack, you would drop Lauren to 4.
I'm fine locking Meg at 3, and we'll settle this the old-fashioned way.
with stats.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. The Race Brain crew is talking a lot right now. I want to hear from the RoxLyf. Greg, make your argument for Lauren. I know you already did this, but just for the sake of posterity, so we can figure this out. Make your argument for Lauren versus Vivian on where you think they should land.
The only argument for putting Vivian ahead of Lauren is 1 race, and it weren't a world championship. It was just 1 race, the first major race of the season, and I admit that's the most recent. But based on everything we've seen, like world championships, like all the majors last season, even the doubles in Hamburg where Lauren was impressive, like Lauren edges it. And if they were racing tomorrow, I don't think there's too many people that would put their money on Vivian over Lauren. So I think
that's a pretty good point. That's a pretty good point. Lauren Weeks, no disrespect to Lauren Griffith, carried that doubles race 1 day later.
Yeah, she was incredible. So Vivian would only be putting Vivian ahead of Lauren based on 1 race, and like everyone can have a slight off day, and like Vivian had the race of her life. So I just don't think we've seen enough from her yet to justify putting her ahead of the GOAT.
Okay, here's a hypothetical for the panel. All of us, we have little rivals that we see on course all the time. It's like, that person, I hate losing to them. They're my rival. And most of the time, let's say you beat that person, then one time they get your number. Are they a better racer than you recently? If they beat you, let's just take out the names Lauren and Vivian. If they had your number most recently, and we're ranking you on how you did recently, I don't like. It might be frustrating because it's like, oh man, I usually beat that person. I'm better than them. I know I am in the long run over time, but right now they've got my number. That's how I'm looking at it.
No, because that's not how. No, because I would go to the NFL and teams lose to worse teams all the time, and we're talking about people, and I don't think Vivian is worse necessarily, but we people lose to bad teams all the time. We don't punish them in the power rankings.
Yeah, I guarantee you the Bills are going down in power rankings because they lost to the Dolphins.
No, because I always go back to the argument around the Super Bowl. And nobody thinks that year that Giants team, even though they won the Super Bowl, nobody thinks that Giants team was better than the Patriots. No one. We're at a stalemate.
I don't talk about that year. So yeah.
Someone's got to break the tie. Michelle, be the voice of reason.
Jack sounds very determined in his vote.
I'm fine losing. Realistically, I'm just making an argument for why I stand there. Like Lauren has the track record. Vivian got her number last race, but if you're looking at body of work, Lauren has it. I just my interpretation of power rankings is like, well, the last time we went head to head, you lost, so you have to be behind. That's how I see it. But I totally understand where all of you are coming from.
Yeah, but like, let's say, okay, so right now, who's the best team in football right now? Probably
Seattle, maybe.
Seattle or the Rams, or maybe the Patriots. If they lost to Jacksonville, which is not a fair comp to Vivian, but if they lost to Jacksonville, are you putting Jacksonville ahead of them in the power rankings?
Depends on what they've done the rest of the season. Like, if you're the number one team,
yeah. Okay, so let's say right now the Rams are 7-2. So the Rams are 7-2. Jacksonville is 1-6 or 1-7 or 2-7. The Rams lost to Jacksonville. Are you putting Jacksonville ahead of them?
That I don't think that it's the same logic for a team sport like that.
It's still
okay. Fine. Let's go to world. Okay, fine. Actually, that helps my argument. Scotty Scheffler is the world #1 golfer. Scotty Scheffler takes 4th in a tournament and loses to Rory McIlroy. Rory doesn't jump ahead of him in the world power rankings.
But I think golf has some issues with their rankings, but that's different. But I'm fine putting Lauren #2.
I present a solid argument. I don't agree.
Regardless of any of these examples, there's still a small percentage of the past weighing in on the current. And I think that holds true and is why Lauren should be 2 instead of 4. I think there's still going to be a small percentage. Go for it.
Yeah. No, I'll say that. And I do think, even though it's not HYROX, like my point in bringing up the LT games was that the LT games proved to me it's not a fitness issue. Lauren didn't have her best day in Hamburg, and she didn't just beat like some of the best HYROX athletes. She beat some of the best athletes in the world. Like Noah Olsen is still a very high level CrossFitter. She beat him by 5 minutes. Like, the fitness is not a problem. So that's what tells me that, like, when Lauren shows up in the start line again, she's probably not losing unless it's Joanna or Meg. Meg won't be in Melbourne though. So.
All right, my only other question, like, let's put Lauren at 2 right here. So you add up 3, 3, 3, 4. That's 13 for Meg, and then you have Vivian 8 or 4, 4, 2, 2. Now she's at 12. So technically, if you're looking at all of our places, she's a little ahead. If we're gonna do a tiebreaker, but if you want to keep Meg 3, that's fine. But I'm conceding.
Yeah, but
Lauren
I hear what you're
2.
saying. But then I still think that, like, there's something to be said about the fact that we've seen Meg race twice this year. She dropped a crazy mixed doubles time given the circumstances. This is obviously no disrespect to her partner, Benny, who's a freak athlete in his own right, but I don't think we would agree that Benny is a freak HYROX athlete yet, although it seems like maybe he's kind of going for it. Like, she wasn't racing with Kent. She put down a pretty crazy time given the team composition and the runs they had to do. And then she puts down, according to you, the 4th fastest time we've ever seen in her first solo race back in what, I guess it would have been, because Amsterdam last year was what, Greg, September of 24?
October.
So 14 months later. So she hadn't raced a solo race in 14 months. And then she drops the 4th fastest time ever. That's where, I mean, I know it's not an elite race, but like, that's scary. But that's just my opinion. I'm
just going to type Lauren in #2 just to get this over with. So, and then Vivian in #4, because I think that's where we're all leaning.
All right. This was good. This is way spicier than I thought it was going to be after the first two going top 5 in order. All right, your top 5 power rankings for the women. We've got the German Seikka Arning, the American Vivian Tafuto, the American living abroad Meg Jacoby, the American Lauren Weeks, and then the Aussie down under Joanna Watrick in your number 1 spot. I'm sure that the men's rankings are going to be clear, cut, and dry. No debate.
No drama whatsoever.
I just can't wait to
No
see
drama.
like
So Jack,
I just can't wait to see when like Sinead gets back, and like this 5th spot is gonna be stupid to argue because it was so hard leaving Linda off. Lena's been a stud, and Seikka, we ended up giving her the nod here. Like women's field is legit these days.
Yeah. Lots of shake
yeah,
up.
which is great because I don't think that. Yeah, a couple years ago we wouldn't have. We basically said no disrespect to the athletes, but it was the top 2 or 3, and then it was a pretty big chasm between the next tier. And as we're debating here with Vivian, like they could get them. So, all right, Jack, you want to pull up the men?
Let's do it. Let me do the same order. Okay. Oh, that was
All
right.
right, Greg. Once Jack clears us out, Greg will hit us with his top 5 men.
Ready? Okay. 5th, I've gone James Kelly. 4th, Hunter McIntyre. 3rd, Dylan Scott. 2nd, Tim Venich. And 1st, Alexander Runchevich.
Matt.
All righty. I am going to go 5th, James Kelly. 4th, Tim Vinish. 3rd, Hunter McIntyre. 2nd, Dylan Scott. 1st, Alexander Ronkovich.
We got to throw some other names in here. So give me Sean Noble as number 5.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Give me JK 4. Tim 3rd. 2nd, Ronk. 1st, Hybrid Raccoon.
Damn. Michelle said, here's a little bit of spice to put in that bowl.
All the drama.
All right. Jack.
I was also right on the fence with putting Sean Noble in there. I've been super impressed with what he did. I'm going to add a new name. Josh van Zeland, number 5. Number 4, Tim Vinish.
Interesting.
Greg's face just said it all.
Did it? Oh.
Yeah.
Did I get my order wrong? I had it typed in white font where Greg was, and then I typed over. So now I don't have that anymore. I know number 2 was Dylan Scott, and number 1 was Alex. Now I just got to figure out where. Oh, it was Hitty. Hitty Viersma.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like something got off there, but yep, that's my order.
All right. So we don't actually have unanimous agreement anywhere. Other than the leading contenders would be, if I'm reading this right, the leading contenders would be Ronk 1st, Dylan 2nd.
I was going to say we should probably start with number 1 and go up.
Yeah. So Michelle, you obviously picked the Hybrid Raccoon over Alexander Ronkovich. So why don't you make your case for Dylan, and then we will debate it.
Yes. Yeah. So playing to the same logic that I had before in terms of trending upwards, I just think that Dylan is continuing to trend upwards. So that's why I put him first as the hypothetical of what we'll see in the future. But I am also down to put Ronk as first since he just set the world record in the major. So I think he still
hard
deserves
to
to be
disagree
first.
with that one. Yeah.
I was down to hear the argument, but I was like, we're gonna have to really sell.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm all
World
in on
record's a
Dylan,
big
and
deal.
I said in the last 3 episodes, somewhere on one of those episodes, that I thought that that Dylan was going to win a world championship in the next 3 years, potentially even this year. So I'm all on the hybrid raccoon train, but it would be hard to go against the man who just broke the longest standing world record in a elite race against Dylan.
I think that's fair.
All right, go ahead and book Ronk first overall. You know, I will just say, just for the sake of the conversation, yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of questions of after he won Worlds in Nice and won that Amsterdam race, and then he kind of made the comment of his goal was to win all 4, and then he just never really quite had the season. I think at one point last year in these top 5, we were debating if he should even be on the list. I think actually Greg made the argument that he should be on the list, and the rest of us said that based on current results, we didn't think that he should be on the list. And you know, he did fine at Worlds. What did he finish? 7th, 6th?
Yeah.
It was the first time Ronk had missed the podium, right, Jack?
At a world championship. Yeah. I'm just pulling up his stats.
At a world championship, yeah. It's the first time he missed the podium.
8th place, actually. Mm-hmm. He had a bunch of second and first.
Yeah. And then he dominated that race. Like, even to the point where when we did the post-race commentary on it, like, yeah, Dylan was with him, but everybody was kind of like, well, I mean, if they get to the wall balls at the same time, like, it's just kind of it's over. Like, Ronk was just on Dylan's hip, and you just kind of knew that Ronk was going to win. So he's back. He is back with a resounding, I am back. Okay, so then the next argument then would be Dylan versus Tim for second. So Greg, you had Tim in second. Do you want to make your argument for Tim in the second spot?
Well, there's the world champion, obviously, the factor there, which is going back to Chicago, obviously, but then also
that is a big plus in the Tim Vinish category. The world championship, hard to argue. Keep going.
But also to support that, he raced in Stuttgart and won against a seriously strong field as well, and he set a time that was very good of 54:21. You know, he beat Sean Noble, Lou McCrory, Alan Ploy, Graham Halliday, Jake Dearden. Like, it was a unbelievably strong field, and he won it reasonably comfortably in a very good time. So I think that, combined with the world champion factor, admittedly not his best day in Hamburg, at least in the singles. I mean, they wiped the floor of everyone in the doubles. I think all of those things combined supports him being second.
I hear that.
I know the argument for Dylan. Sorry,
go for it.
I know the argument for Dylan is similar in it. Like, he won in Atlanta. You know, he done very well in Hamburg, third in Chicago. So I can see the argument for Dylan, but I'd probably just place like that world champion in Chicago. Like, I just think that means Tim edges it for me.
Yeah, I actually, to be hand up and just be completely honest with the panel and the pod, I kind of forgot it was like a sneaky 54:21 that he ran in Stuttgart, and the field was really strong. To your point, like, I think it kind of got overshadowed a little bit because the story out of Stuttgart was that Meg is back and in dominating fashion, and I think that kind of took the headlines.
Because there were nearly 30 guys who went sub 60 there. That was not quite a major, but that was a deep race, and he destroyed everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It was a deep race, and he did destroy everybody. I think my counter argument to Tim, it's weird to make a counter argument against the reigning world champion, but like, I think my counter argument would be that he he seems to start these elite races slow and build into the season. Now he wasn't slow, but I think he finished in Hamburg at 7th, I believe it was. And I just felt like Dylan's win was so convincing, and then there wasn't anything that Dylan hasn't done anything that like changed my opinion of his standing. Because I do think that who you race it, I think who you race matters, and I'd have to look at the Stuttgart finishing times for the pro men, but like in the Atlanta race, it was over basically after the pull. I think Dylan had a 20 or 30 second lead at that point, and then after burpees, I think it was like 40 seconds, and then after row, I think it was like a minute, and then it just was kind of, again, no disrespect to Cole Learn and Steven Pelkoffer, but I mean, Dylan won by basically like 2 minutes. He wasn't really pushed that back half of the race. And I think that we have seen where when you're in faster races, it pulls you along to a pretty quick time. Like what did Dearden finish at in Hamburg in 15th place? It was like 57 high.
Everyone broke 58.
Yeah, everyone broke 58. So I think it's a very valid argument on Tim, but I guess the question for me would be going back to Jack's logic of like recency. Dylan won majors last year that Tim was in. Tim won worlds. Dylan finished on the podium. And then when they just raced again head to head, Dylan won. So I think 2 out of the last 3 head to head elite races, I'm pretty sure Dylan won them. And he hasn't done anything to drop that in my mind. That would be my argument for Dylan. I don't know if Jack or Michelle, if you want to pick it up or not.
Yeah, my only question about Tim is what has he done that puts him below Hunter right now, Matt? I don't understand that.
Yeah, that's totally fair. And I think that after kind of hearing the arguments, I would probably bump Hunter down 1. I still go back to the most recent time that they raced, which was Worlds, and yes, Tim won. But in my opinion, I'll admit that I think that there's a little bit of like historical bias here, but like in my opinion, Tim had the best race of his life that day. And can he replicate that? Maybe. But then we saw him in Hamburg. He finished 7th. To be fair, Hunter hasn't raced a HYROX since Nice. We're going to find out where his fitness is here in a few weeks in Melbourne because he's going to be down there. But the difference between this year and previous years is, unlike where Hunter takes a big off season and kind of does a bunch of other things, he's still training for HYROX. He's running some of the fastest splits that he's ever run. Again, it's just training, and that doesn't mean anything. That was my initial thought, but I think after like I said, I hand up, honest to God, I just kind of forgot that Stuttgart happened for Tim. So I think based on that, I'm willing to drop Hunter to 4th and move Tim up on my own rankings.
But Tim is still behind Dylan in your rankings.
Yes, because for the sheer fact of 2 out of the last 3 elite races that have happened in this calendar year, Dylan has gotten the better of Tim, and Dylan hasn't done anything to drop that in my eyes. And I think Dylan's Atlanta race has to be, Jack, keep me honest, I don't know if you keep a stat for this, that has to be one of the fastest North American non-elite times of all time. Like, it's definitely top 3.
I said besides Rich's
Maybe
4.
Yeah, I was going to say Rich running 54 something, and you're probably right, Matt.
I think that might be the fastest elite.
Because Rich
that might
is
be
the continental record holder, as he'll remind you, or the landmass record holder.
The only other people that have run 55s in the U.S. are Cole Learn, who ran a 55:30. I'm going back through.
Kenton Ryland did it in Chicago.
Right.
But that was an elite race.
Yep.
Hunter ran a 55:09 Dallas 2022. That time is crazy with context. The only other person would be like Kent. And I'm pretty sure that his 55, to your point, was Chicago 2023. So that's the third fastest North American pro race time ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that Dylan has done nothing other than prove that he's the second best, if not the best racer, or the man to beat at the moment, no matter where he goes. Let's not forget, heading into wall balls, he was like on Alex's shoulder. They were together in a race where he broke the world record. So he's in arguably world record fitness, got second at the most recent major. I mean, I think it would be foolish not to put him at number 2 right now.
I feel like he's still number 2 for me as well.
Greg, do you hate us?
No. I can be convinced. I was just thinking to myself, if they were racing tomorrow, who would I bet on? And I'd probably go with Dylan, but it would be a hard choice.
Are they both going to be in Australia?
I don't know. I think Tim is. I'm not sure about
Is Dylan going to Melbourne?
That's what I'm asking. Not sure.
I don't know.
I mean, the dude definitely races, but like, I mean, it's a long haul when he doesn't need to.
That'll be his downtime when like he can't do a workout on a plane. So unless he brings a rower on the flight.
All right. So Dylan 2. So then I mean, I guess the question then, Jack, would be, this one is shocking to me that you put Hitty above Tim.
Is it shocking based on my argument style? Like last time they were there, Hitty got third, Tim did not. I understand Tim made a comeback and he's the reigning world champion, but what have you done for me lately? And yes, Tim dominating. He won by 24 seconds in Stuttgart against a pretty loaded field, but he lost to him head to head last time we saw him.
Yeah, he did. I hear you. But these are the names of some of the people that Tim took down convincingly in Stuttgart: Sean Noble, Liam McCrory, Alan Plough, Graham Holiday, Jake Dearden, Aitor Hormia, Sebastian Iverson, Yannick Chopla, Bobby Eisenlauer, Peter Schiller. I mean, I know it's not an elite race, but that was a...
Matt, here are some of the names that Hitty took down in Hamburg: James Kelly, Rich Ryan, Tim Venish. You know, I could go do the same.
I don't want to hear Rich Ryan. Rich is washed. He's got a calf injury. He's got a kid on the way. Listen, there's no Rich Ryan talk over here. Okay,
he just makes content these days, right?
Give the guy.
He's an influencer. That dude, he's just out here influencing. He's more worried about influencing than he is
plunges, you know, all that.
I will say I did have Hitty on my list, and then I did a last minute switch to Sean Noble. But I would say for Hitty, I would do the consistency argument here. I kind of want to see it again. It was an awesome race, and he got his spot. But I kind of want to see it again. I still think Tim should be third over him.
I get it, but Hitty, the last time we saw him at a big race, he beat Alex head to head at the World Championship, and then took third in their most recent major. And like we were unanimous. Alex
can't make that argument. Alex absolutely waxed him in Hamburg.
I mean, that just shows the volatility of.
To be fair, you can make whatever argument you want. That was a little bit rude by me.
Yeah. But I'm saying if he's beaten some good people consistently in the past 2 times that he's had to beat good people to do well, like at majors, World Championship. I was honestly surprised. I thought others would put Hitty maybe like 5th or something. I really was surprised. I'm the only one who listed him.
I nearly had him instead of JK. Yeah. I must admit in 5th, but yeah.
Okay, so.
Now Hunter, he's on a couple lists that
so I guess the question, I mean, Hunter's on 2 lists, Hitty's on 1. I hear you that you're just off the board. I guess maybe let's start with the one person who would be, I think, is the toughest argument to make, which is Josh van Zeland, which, with all due respect to Josh van Zeland, he is having an incredible season and he just put up an incredible time. And he did just beat JK. We don't know the details of that, tapers and whatnot and everything else. I would love to hear your argument, but I would be hard for me to put him above any of these athletes who are consistently racing in Elite 15 races and delivering results when we haven't seen him race an elite race yet. But Jack, I'm definitely...
It's so hard to get into an Elite 15 race. And he showed, hey, give me the opportunity. I can take down a guy like James Kelly. It was just one-on-one, the two of them in Seoul. No one was within like 8 minutes of them the rest of the race. They knew who they were going against. He got the better of them head-to-head.
Definitely put your name on the map when you're beating an Elite 15 regular. I would definitely say that.
Like you touched on, Matt, though, like my guess is that was a huge race for Josh, and it was a run-out training run for JK, like in preparation for Melbourne. Like, I doubt JK was fully tapered and everything like that. It wasn't the most important race that he's got coming up, whereas Josh had to get that time just to get into Melbourne.
Totally.
So, you know, I know he beat him, but I don't think they were treating the race the same.
Do you think, Jack, that Joe Stacy is better than Ryan Kent?
That's kind of a weird question. Oh, from Atlanta? I mean, Ryan's had a tough season lately, and right now, I would argue that Joe Stacy could be better than him at the moment. Car Fitness, he broke an hour. Same age group. I was on that. Well, actually, Joe didn't even show up to the podium. It was just Ryan and me. So.
Jack, you are one of the smartest human beings I know and one of the most knowledgeable human beings I know. There is no way that you are going to say that if we were doing a power rankings right now that you're putting Joe Stacy above Ryan Kent.
I'm consistent in my reasoning.
You're consistent power until
if we did it after Boston and Ryan Kent ran his 58 or whatever, okay. Absolutely. But the last time the two you went head to head, he won, and Ryan has had a consistency of dropping out of races over the past season. So I think you could make an argument there, honestly. But we're not talking about that.
I'm just trying to see how consistent you'd be. So, okay, I can respect that.
So my reason for putting Josh, and I do not think he'll end up there, it's simply because he beat him head to head, but he's also run another really fast time earlier this season. Like he is in the Elite 15 at this point, right? Like on track for it based on his time. Because in Sydney, where did he go? 55, 20, something like that.
Yeah, he's ninth.
Yeah.
I think I hear you on like he just beat JK, but like, and JK, I know that sometimes you listen to this show. I would love it if you DM'd me, and I know you'll say nothing but positive things about Josh because you have a high respect for him. But I'd love to know if like that was. I'm guessing that was not an A race.
And I agree with that. Obviously, JK is not going all in on that race when it means so much more for Josh.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is you're also then saying that you're putting Josh over Rich Ryan, who got sixth in Hamburg. And you'd also be putting him above Tomasz, who got you'd also be putting him ahead of Tomasz, who ran a 54 in Hamburg. You're also putting him above your guy, Richard Heineck, who had a top 10 finish.
Sorry, Richard. You might be sniffing 10th or so right now, but you're not there yet.
But it is. I just
have a hard time putting someone who ran a pro race when we know that these pro races are wildly, with all due respect, we know that these regional races are wildly inconsistent in terms of their times. I do understand that he beat JK. I get that. I hear that argument, but we have not seen Josh against the field. And so to put him against people, there are other people that got top 4, top 5 at Hamburg in a major race. I just have a hard time I hear your argument. I just have a hard time putting him over Elite 15 athletes who have already raced majors this season and haven't done anything to reduce their standing.
I mean, this year, Josh,
what would be your argument? What would be your argument for Josh over Rich?
Well, recently, Josh, like in Perth, that was in September, he was 1 second behind Tom Rogers. He ended up winning by 2 minutes in Sydney, and he just took down James Kelly head to head, not opposite heats, not aggregate time over the course of the weekend. That's my rationale there, because Tom Rogers just got 6th the World Championship. You could argue he's pretty close to top 5. But, and like I said, this I do not think Josh will end up getting the top 5th consensus for everybody. I just think that he should be ranked above James at the moment.
Does any other panelist feel like Jack has made a compelling enough argument to bump somebody off this list for Josh?
I still feel like we need to determine what 3rd and 4th are to then decide what 5th is.
I think Tim should be 3rd.
I think Tim is 3rd.
Michelle.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think Tim is 3rd.
That 54-21 makes the argument a lot easier to bring Tim back in there after his opener was a little disappointing by his standards. But where I don't understand is half of us are putting Hunter in, half of us are not. Yes, clearly Hunter, when he's in the field, has the potential to win any race, world championship, major, it doesn't matter. He is arguably the man to beat no matter when he shows up, but it's been like almost 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason I don't have him on the list. I just feel like it's few and far between when we see him racing. Obviously, he got 2nd at World Champs. That's not nothing. And his history is insane. But I'm just thinking about who we've been talking about the past few weeks. And JK's been racing. Sean Noble's had some great times. Josh van Zeland had some good times. That's why I'm thinking about these names, because we don't see Hunter's name that often.
Yeah, I mean, this is where I would be consistent. We're going to do the draft for Melbourne here in a couple weeks. And my argument is that if Hunter is on the board and so is Sean Noble and Josh van Zeland, I don't think that either of you is taking Sean Noble or Josh van Zeland over Hunter.
Well, we'll see, Matt. We'll see.
Yeah, you can leave those guys for us. We'll see what happens.
But
I don't think you're doing that. I don't think you're doing that, is my point. I understand the leaving Meg off argument when she's injured. Like, I get that piece. I also get we haven't seen him since Worlds, but we did see him at Worlds. It was this calendar year, and we do know what he's up to. He's training. He's not hurt. So to me, and he is racing. Like, it's not like he's not doing the whole thing like, am I racing? Am I not? He has said that he intends to go to Melbourne and lock his spot for Worlds. Like, that's what he is saying. So when he says things like that, it's hard for me to think that, like, I don't think that there's a world where, especially after the Glasgow, I think the combination of Glasgow and Nice, like, I don't think he's showing up anymore to race just to race. Like, I think, like, he's at the point in his career where he's showing up to dominate. Now, sure, you could say that I'm a Hunter stan, fanboy, whatever you want, but he hasn't done anything in the last 5 months that tells me that his fitness is not going to be there and that he's not going to do anything other than race for a win.
Well, he hasn't done anything.
That would be my Hunter argument, Greg.
That's the argument. That's where this thing lies. He just hasn't done anything for 5 months. Meanwhile, we're seeing all these guys drop 54, 55. Hunter's had one good race since
I hear you, but we see boxers when. Yeah, but
I'm not saying he's not the man to beat. I'm saying right now, with how good how deep this field is, all the great performances, we've had a major. He got 9th in his last major and 2nd at World Champs. The unbelievable performance at World Championships, but he's been basically idle for the past 8 months. And one of those races, he dropped the bomb. Like, it just didn't work out well.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not taking someone who's never raced an elite race in his life over the greatest of all time. I don't care if he hasn't raced in 5 months or not. That
Greg,
would be my mic drop to you. I'm not taking someone.
Let's get to Greg on his argument for Tim. I mean, for Hunter too.
I just think, over and above what Matt said, it's not like his last race, which was Chicago, where he finished 2nd. It wasn't like that was just this freak performance from him. It's like, that's what we've come to expect. And I know some of the races before that he hadn't done as well as we might expect from him, but he's consistently very, very good. So the last time we saw him, he was 2nd at the World Championships, and that wasn't like this crazy surprise. And can he repeat that again next time he's out? It's like, that's what we've come to expect from him. And so last time he showed up, He showed up, and I think we can expect the same from him. So
yeah, and if you want to talk about a head-to-head, because Jack, you love head-to-head, I know that Josh van Zeland is in different fitness now than he was then, but Hunter and Josh have raced each other in this calendar year, and Hunter won by 4.5 minutes.
You're talking like
I know he's not the same athlete right now.
Basically, the start of the year last year.
Yeah, but they've raced head-to-head in this calendar year, so they've raced head-to-head one time.
I wouldn't.
And all that Josh has done,
putting Josh van Zeland on there at the start of the year, but he's a different athlete at the moment.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't have, but I'm just saying it's not like my point is that your argument against Meg last year was she's hurt, so we can't put her on there. The flip side is also true. There is nothing that indicates that Hunter's fitness has dropped.
Yeah, it's just race stats, and we don't have as many from him.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you're putting Josh ahead of people who ran faster times than him 2 weeks or 3 weeks prior. Like,
because he's trending. He deserves to be talked about.
Power rankings. Michelle's just filling in the rest of the argument for me.
He definitely deserves to be talked about. I'm just surprised that we're planting our flag in the ground so hard.
So another guy on this list, Sean Noble, has had some pretty solid performances. He was only 24 seconds behind Tim, and we just universally put Tim in third place right there. Like, we've seen Sean. He's had a couple of really, really good races already this fall, and he's only on one person's board right now. Hitty got third place.
Yeah, but Sean is also a verb. He's also a verb. He's the most likely to get nobled in an elite race. He's either going to get DQ'd or something's going to get overturned or something's going to go wrong. My argument against Sean Noble would be he's great. I want to see him put it together in an elite race. I think he's capable of it. I just want to see it.
At least he does elite races. Like, Hunter doesn't anymore. I
agree.
After this next major, if Hunter finishes in the top 5, I don't care if he gets 5th and some other guys have mind-blowing performances. Hunter's going in my top 5 after next major. He just hasn't been around.
Yeah, but listen to yourself. You've got Josh van Zeland, who's never raced an elite race over Sean Noble yourself.
But he's beating people because he actually goes out on races right now, and he's beating people
who
are
How many people do we see get into elite races? How many people do we see get into elite races and blow up or crack because of the moment? Like, I don't disagree.
CBD.
Josh van Zeland right now would probably be the elite rookie of the year if he continues to trend in the way that he has. But that's a big if. He's got to do it. We got to see it.
We've got to see Hunter. That's my counter.
We also have yet to talk about JK and in one of these spots. So we should probably mention why he should be also in here. Because it sounds like we're not really determining 4 or 5. We're just talking about all the people. But JK should solidly be in there because he's on 3 of our lists.
We have 5 people to fill in 2 spots, and James is on 3 of the list right there.
Right.
I feel comfortable putting him in there, even though I personally don't think that he should be at the moment.
Okay, so how about this? This is probably the most fair way to do it. Greg and I have Hunter on our list. We have made our arguments as to why it should be him over Josh van Zeland. Jack has made his argument for why it should be Josh van Zeland over Hunter McIntyre.
I think
Michelle.
Hitty, we're talking about Josh a lot, but Hitty is third for me.
Hold on. We're gonna get there. But Hitty, in your eyes, Hitty should be on the list if Josh isn't. So the question is, should Josh be included or not? So, Michelle, based on the arguments that you have heard, which way would you go between Josh and Hunter?
Hunter.
Okay.
Period. End of sentence.
So Josh is off the list. But what Jack wanted to do, which was to get Josh talked about, and he got talked about more than Alexander Rakovic, who right now is our number 1. So I think, Jack, well done.
Well done. Just what I wanted.
Josh, I hope that you make me look like an absolute asshole and run a 54 in Melbourne.
He's gonna go across the finish line.
So Josh is out.
Dylan did to me that time. He's gonna be calling out Matt. All right, get ready for it.
There is no
Take
shot.
Those power rankings and shove them up your butt. Right.
That's right. All right. So now the question becomes: I have been talking a lot and have made my arguments. Does anybody else want to pick up the work that Jack has done on Hitty?
I guess we're talking about Hidde versus JK at this point, are we?
Mm-hmm. Or really Sean, probably, because those are the only two that have one vote. So I think the question really becomes
James.
Well,
no,
I
there's
think it's
one
Sean.
spot left, basically.
It's Hunter, JK, and then whoever else for the top three. I feel like
Hunter has
JK.
two. Hunter
I
has two votes though.
James is a safe bet. Like he's gonna make this list. Is he 4? Is he 5? So there's one spot up, and it's between Hunter, Hidde, and Sean at this point. And I feel like it's probably between Hidde and Hunter at this point.
I would agree with that.
Okay, that's fair. Michelle, do you want to make an argument for Sean over Hidde or Hunter? Or do you feel like you feel good with Hidde?
I think Hidde wins the argument because he got third at the major.
Okay. So Sean's out. So it's then do we feel good then about let's see. JK is fifth on two lists and fourth on one.
Hidde versus Hunter. Last time we saw them, Hidde was 7th in the same race, and Hunter was 2nd at the World Championships. And then all that's happened since then is Hidde come 3rd in a race that Hunter wasn't at. So I think based on everything, like including history, like admittedly, but knowing what we know about Hunter, but it was the World Championships that he finished 2nd at, and we've not seen him since. So I feel like we're punishing him just because he's not felt the need to race yet. But when they did race, it was 2nd and 7th.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Go ahead, Mitchell.
Nope, I was gonna say like I agree with that logic, but it's like that's the opposite of what Jack's thought process is currently.
I'm just looking at trends. What's happened since World Championship? Those are separate. Hunter stayed flat. Hidde gone up, taken down a lot of names who are already on this list. Power rankings. How are they moving lately? That's how I'll always be that way. I understand 2 people have Hunter ahead of James. You're probably gonna end up putting him 4 or 5, but I think Hidde's getting screwed right here.
So I think it's got to be JK 4.
I would agree with that.
Because really, even what Greg and Michelle said is they feel like it's Hidde versus Hunter to make the cut.
Yeah.
So it's got to be JK 4. Unless, Greg, you feel strongly the other way.
No.
Okay. So then it's Hidde versus Hunter. I've made my argument for Hunter on this. Greg has made his argument for why he went with Hunter over Hidde where he did. Michelle, you have heard both arguments. You are once again the arbitrator here. Although I will say though, the only other argument here would be, are we saying it's 2-2? Michelle, are you saying that you would replace Hidde with Sean?
I almost had him on the list instead of Sean, so I feel like that was definitely the way I was coming into this. However, I think after Greg speaking about Hidde versus Hunter, the last time we saw them, even though it was 6 months ago, it's still what it was. We haven't seen them race against each other yet. So I'm thinking that Hunter could be trending in that direction, even though we haven't seen him. So I'm swayed for Hunter instead of Hidde for 5.
So let it be so. Got it. Hunter McIntyre. All right.
I tried to keep him out.
Your top 5. The bulk pony, Hunter McIntyre. The Aussie, JK. The German, Tim Weinisch. The hybrid raccoon, Dylan Scott. And your reigning world record holder, Alexander Ronkovich. Does everybody feel at least a little bit bad about this? Because if it does, that means that we had a successful podcast.
For sure.
The comments, let us know who's the idiot. I'm sure people don't agree with me at all. But yeah, I would love to hear where people think these athletes rank. I feel like 1-2, pretty consensus, but after that, it's going to be wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is good. This is probably one of our spiciest ones yet. Good debate.
Meg's back.
All right, gang, we did it. Let us know. It's only going to get spicier. Like Jack said, let us know in the comments where we got it right, where you think we got it wrong. Make sure you like and subscribe to the drop. Like and subscribe, hit the button. And then, Greg, what do we got on RoxLyf this week?
We've got David Weatherill, who is coming out on the Thursday episode. He's like he's a ex-Paralympian, ex table tennis, and he's doing HYROX. He's got the world record for marathon on crutches. So yeah, amazing guy. We had a really good chat.
I met him in Chicago. It's a good guy.
Oh, that's awesome. That sounds like that's going to be an incredible podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe to the RoxLyf as well. Give our guy Greg a listen if you haven't already. Quality content over there. All right, Jack, Michelle, Greg, Jack, I hate you. Just kidding. Wish I could hug you in Chicago. Michelle, excited to see you, and Greg, hopefully we see you soon.
Are we all planning on being in Phoenix, by the way?
Oh,
that might be an opportunity.
Greg, are you commentating Phoenix?
Yeah.
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
All right, we'll have to meet up. We'll have to get a coffee. Maybe we'll do. Maybe if Greg's media schedule allows, maybe we'll just do an immediate top 5 after Phoenix. Because what could go wrong?
What's more recent than that?
That's what I'm saying. All right, gang, we did it.